This is the official number one. This is the official number one podcast station for hip hop and R. This is the official number one podcast station for hip hop and R&B. This is the official number one podcast station for hip hop and R&B. You already know what time it is, man. Anyway. You teed up with T-Lin, baby.
Well. So tonight on Teed Up with RapStarr, and turn the mic over to him so y'all can get to know him a little bit. So RapStarr, where are you located at the moment?
What's up, everybody? What's good? I'm located Pittsburgh, PA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's East Coast for you. You know what it is, man.
Originally from?
I'm originally from Pittsburgh, actually. Was here all my life. I just have friends and a lot of friends and a lot of family from like different places, like New York, Brooklyn. Yeah, a lot of people from like different places, like Seminole, Florida, the Florida reservation. It's actually my father is the first person in my father's family to be in Pittsburgh, because my father's father and everybody else on, like his mother and everything, they were born in the Florida Seminole reservation. So I got Seminole, Florida in me, and Taino as well, Native Americans. You know what it is. So, but I'm originally from Pittsburgh, East Side, East Side, East Side.
You're freezing up a little bit.
Yeah, you was freezing up a little bit. Can you hear me now?
It's freezing just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I can hear you now.
Cool,
okay.
Cool.
It's probably StreamYard lagging a little bit here, but we're good right now. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, so who is your biggest inspiration in the industry, and what is it about that person that makes them your inspiration?
I got like 5 top artists. Now I'm influenced by like a whole bunch of artists, but there's like my 5 top artists that I kind of hold to where um I started like really getting into it. They started influencing me. First and foremost, the number one artist that influenced me is Eminem, Slim Shady, aka Marshall Mathers. He's the reason why I started rapping. I remember like growing up everywhere, my father, he would play like old school hip hop all the time. Like imagine being like, I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 91. So imagine um it's like summertime, it's like 98, 99, 100 degrees, and you driving, riding shotgun with your father in his Cadillac. Got the wood grain, got the leather seats that will burn your skin when the sun hits it. You know, the little seat belt that you got to reach over and everything at the wood grain. And he's banging Bone Thugs and Harmony. He's banging Tupac. He's banging Biggie. He's banging Total. He's banging Alicia Keys. He's, all the things that's growing up in that era, like he would play. So I vividly remember driving with my father and him playing, East 99 or something like that. Or him playing Tupac, him playing Nas, a big Nas, him playing LL Cool J. But when I started, music always been a part of me, actually. My mom, she actually worked at a Pittsburgh radio station called Whammo back in the 90s until the early 2000s. Whammo has changed drastically since then. But she worked on the news side. So I would see a lot of the local DJs that was running the switchboards. I would see them personally like every weekend, every other weekend, being with my mom when she went to work. Um, my stepfather, he was also in radio. He was in a newscast. There was this Pittsburgh radio station called WKQV. It was an all talk, all news radio. So growing up early as a child, from like maybe 4, I was in radio all the time in radio. So I guess that's kind of what sparked it. But me actually being like a hip hop artist, like I said, I remember being with my grandmother around like 96, 97. I'll say 90, between 97 and 98. And I remember going to the senior citizens place. She used to go to the senior citizens place where all these senior citizens came, and they would, mingle with each other, have luncheons. They would have stuff for all the older people. They would have dances and everything. And they had this big lobby. And I'm sitting in the lobby and I'm watching TRL, old school MTV, where they actually played music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching TRL with Carson Daly. And as I'm watching them, I'm seeing the D12 music video, Blue and Yellow Purple Pill. And once I seen that video, I'm looking back. I was like, yo, what the heck is this? Bobbing my head to it. I'm rocking with it. I'm like, yo. I started listening to other Eminem records that came out later. Like one of my favorites growing up was Guilty Conscience, featuring Dr. Dre. All right, calm down, relax, start breathing. Man, you just caught your wife cheating while she at work. She has some dude trying to get off. Forget getting divorced. Cut this chicken's head off. So it's like me listening to Eminem, I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then when the 8 Mile movie came out, I was already writing rhymes. So I'm 32 now. I started writing rhymes heavy between like 11 and 12. And when the 8 Mile came out in 2003, I was 12. When the movie came out and when the soundtrack came out, that gave me the motivation to actually, go on and do rap and actually construct songs. I remember going into my high school and sitting on the back of the school bus listening to 8 Mile Road while I'm, jotting in my notebooks, writing rhymes and everything. And being that Eminem was my favorite artist that caught my attention to be a rapper, when 50 Cent got signed to Eminem, to Shady Records, back in 02, 03, dropped Get Rich or Die Trying, 03, February 6th. Now check this out. My birthday is February 7th. 50 Cent is the reason why I got serious into rapping. So when Get Rich or Die Trying, that literally dropped the day before my birthday, February 6th. Every year I play in the club. Every year. Because it's close to my birthday. It's just 24 hours away. My little sister gave me a little hip hop frog. It got the hat, it got the do-rag, it got the chain, it got, hip hop look to it. You press his paw and it sings 50 Cent in the club. So Eminem is the reason why I started rapping, and 50 Cent and the G Unit is the reason why I got serious in the rapping. You see, I got the shirt. It's a shirt that got 50 Banks and Tony Yayo off of 50 Cent's mixtape. 50 Cent is the Future. And I remember listening to these mixtapes when I grew up. This was early 2000s. So the mixtape game was heavy. We talking about DJ K Slay, R.I.P. We talking about P Cutter, the Street Wars. We talking about DJ Envy. You see DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club right now. But I used to get his records. I used to listen to DJ Envy records, DJ Drama, DJ Clue. Shout out to DJ Who Kid, the G Unit mixtape. Me listening to these mixtapes, what I used to do is I would buy these mixtapes. And when I buy these mixtapes, I would go down, get the mixtapes. They were like $5 a pop. And it was the G Unit radio mixtape. There's 25 volumes right now total. But there are some G Unit mixtapes a little before then and a little bit after then. So at that time I was listening to these mixtapes and I'm listening to all of my favorite rappers, at the time where they was beefing, but they was battle rapping. And so that's how I started writing punchlines from listening to these battle raps. I mean, we talking Jay-Z and Nas. We talking about X going after Ja Rule. We talking about 50 going after Ja Rule. We got Ja Rule going after 50. We got, you know, Freeway, the Rock Nation, you know, the Rockefeller Records versus D Block. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these MCs at this time, I started soaking up game as soon as I started listening to these mixtapes. And then what I would do is not only that I would buy mixtapes, but I would also buy instrumentals. So I would buy like a 50 Cent mixtape that had nothing but 50 instrumentals. I'd buy a Dr. Dre mixtape that had nothing but Dr. Dre instrumentals. Every Dr. Dre instrumental you could think of up until that time. Eminem instrumentals, Timberland instrumentals, you know. So we had like you listening to a Timberland mix to Timberland, he got his catalog is long. So we talking not only hip hop, but we also got R&B and a little bit of pop. So what I used to do is I would get my favorite songs and I would write remixes to them. And when I write remixes to them, I started learning how to write a full bar in a chorus, and it repeats itself. Got to be catchy. And then within the verses, a basic verses consists of 16 bars. There's some verses that consist of 18, sometimes even 20, depending on how the song is structured. But the basic format is you got 4 bars for the hook, you got 16 for the verse, and then you have like your little bridges. 50 was good at making hooks and bridges, and I learned how to write songs based off of me following my favorite artists at that time. So that's how I started in the hip hop, where Eminem is the reason why I got into hip hop. 50 Cent and the G Unit is the reason why I got serious. And then also after that, you have DMX, RIP. I just got a chance to actually meet him about a couple of years ago. This was like maybe a year and a half before he died. 2 years before he died. He was actually in my neighborhood that I grew up in. I got a homie, shout out to True Live. He's another dope MC from Pittsburgh. He got connections, and he had me slide through the hood because DMX was doing some shows. So he was in a club. And as soon as I got off of work, went home, changed, got back to the hood. I'm outside the club. There's about like 30 or 40 rough rider guys up and down the street with the quads and the motorcycles. And I look to my left. There's a black Suburban. 4 guys hop out. 3 of them was wearing the rough rider jackets. Last one was the legendary DMX. I was in shock, man. There was like a motorcycle in between us as he's walking. So as I'm walking, I extended my hand. I said, "Yo, X, big fan." He looks at me and he goes, "Hey, yo, that's your bike?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, that's not my bike, man. That's not my bike." I'm just saying, you wearing blue and white, the bike's wearing blue and white. I just thought that was your bike, yo. This is classic X. This is how X talks. This is how we get. I'm in the VIP section, chilling with X. "Yo, X, can I take a picture?" "You the man from outside, right?" Yeah. It was crazy meeting somebody that I grew up listening to all the time, watching movies all the time. When I was a kid, my number one crush was Aaliyah, RIP. And watching movies with a girl that I grew up admiring, being around certain people, and I'm like, "Yo, you was in a movie with Aaliyah. Yo, you was with so-and-so and so-and-so." Not only that, you are a celebrity too, but you also be around celebrity people too. So it was like an awe for me to meet DMX. That's the third. The fourth is LL Cool J. I'm a big LL Cool J fan. Like, he's the reason why I wear Kangles and gold chains and everything. Like, LL LL, like there's old school LL. Like for me, my father, one of the artists that he would play all the time was LL Cool J. My uncle would say this all the time. My uncle would give me haircuts and everything. And as he's giving me a haircut, he's like, "Yo, LL Cool J is the baddest MC ever." So imagine being in a family where they have so much respect for this one particular artist, and he happens to be the person that you admire as well. So LL Cool J, of course, is an artist that I would say, influenced me in a lot of ways. Um, Little Kim is the fifth. And it's crazy because, you don't see too many male rappers say that they're influenced by a female artist. I am. Always have been. Been a big, big Little Kim fan. If anybody actually see my TikTok videos, you could go on my TikTok video, just follow me on TikTok. It's rap to the star. ITSRAP number 2 THESTARR. And you'll see me. I do modeling too. So I do hip hop modeling. So I have like shirts like these that I pay homage to the artists that actually paved the way for me, to be in the business. So I have a bunch of Little Kim, shirts to pay homage to Baby Girl. I've been a Biggie fan. I was a Biggie fan since a kid. A lot of my cousins and even my older sister Tamika, shout out to Tamika, they're a huge Pac fan. So imagine you got a whole family full of Pac fans, and then here you come with the Biggie joint, and
Now,
you got back
LL Cool J. I've always
right.
I've always had a crush on LL Cool J.
That's Ladies Love Cool J.
Him.
That's Ladies Love Cool J. But like LL said, LL also has a hard side too. Not only he make records for the ladies that can top the charts, but he can actually spit. Like one of my favorite joints is I Shot Ya. He was like, "What the fuck? I thought I conquered the world, crush Mo D, Hammer, and Ice T's girls. Still, niggas want to instigate shit. I battle any nigga in the rap game quick. Name a spot. I make it hot for you bitches. Female rappers too. I don't give a fuck, boo. Word." Yo, that was classic LL. Like, there was like, at that time, LL Cool, man, like, seriously, man, like, these young cats need to go back and study, man. LL is not the one to be played with. Even I have debates on people when they say about the battle between LL Cool J and Cannabis. And a lot of people say Cannabis won. That second round knockout was cold. But that the Ripper Strikes Back, woo! Can I bust? Yes, we can. Can't like these are the songs that I listen to and I study and I learn how to have a punchline, how to set up for a punchline. Have a real good, jab, and not just lyrically attacking somebody, but in any song that I write, I want to get my point across to the point where it bangs in your head for a week. So again, with Little Kim being the fifth, I like I said, I grew up listening to Biggie, so all of the Junior Mafias, Little Kim, I got hardcore, I got all of her albums. You know what I'm saying? So, Little Kim, she can spit her head off, yo. She said, "I'm the bitch with the platinum grammar. Kill a nigga for my nigga. Body me ease, bitch. Cock the manners. Little Kim strike a pose and everybody snap they cameras. My fans raised from kids to the motherfucking grandmas. Oh, yes, the Queen Bee is back in the game. It's still like, come on, son. Like, this is classic Queen Bee. This is the mixtape shit, too. Like, I be telling people, I be like, yo, if you really want to gauge how talented an artist is, check their underground shit. Check their underground shit. Fuck the albums. The albums is going to say for himself. But once you go, like I be telling people sometimes be sleeping on 50, and I'll be like, yo, these G-Unit radios is not nothing to play with, son. I said you will find a lot colder 50 on the in the mixtape than you'll have on the album. This is totally two different 50s. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so if you want to really gauge the lyrical content of an artist, check out some of their stuff that's not in commercials. You know, that's not commercial success. You know, so like Little Kim, she gets busy, and not only the fact that she gets busy, but she's also big into fashion, and I'm also big into fashion. So as a man who's in the hip hop game, and I do hip hop fashion for men, I don't do the skinny jeans. I don't do none of that. My style is, you know, early 2000s, 90s. I'm still rocking the do rag and the fitteds. You know what I'm saying? So that the fashion that she has, I have that same passion that she has for fashion. So those are the artists. I'll say again, from Eminem, 50 Cent, DMX, LL Cool J, and Little Kim. Those are the top 5 MCs that make up the type of artist that I am right now. And the crazy thing about it is, I met KRS-One when I was in college. Shout out to KRS-One. Knowledge rules supreme over everyone. Now, when I met KRS-One and had a chance to actually hear him speak, the brother is intelligent. Seriously. Come to find out, KRS-One is the favorite rapper of 50 Cent. 50 Cent is one of my favorite rappers. It's like a chain effect.
Either 50 Cent.
Huh?
50 Cent knows this business.
Yeah, he knows. Oh, he knows
this business inside.
I tell you this, I said this before, and it's going to sound fucked up, but the people that you know who's going to do well in the music business are ex-drug dealers. And the reason why I say that is because they got that same hustle that they had in the streets, and they apply it to corporate America. If you read 50 Cent's book, The 50th Law, the 50th Law actually explains the parallels between corporate America and the streets. Not too much different. So when you have somebody like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, people who have hustling backgrounds, that's because they before they was who they was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But yeah, those are the top 5 people that I say that's the artist that I'm influenced by. M50, DMX, Lil Kim, LL Cool J.
Okay, so tell me the one big lesson in this industry that changed your outlook on the industry.
I'll say what I learned is you got to market yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to market yourself, and you got to find pockets where you know you can hit certain markets. One of my biggest problems in hip hop right now is for people to hear my sound and like it, or having people listen to my sound and not like it because it don't sound like everybody the fuck else. You know, that's my biggest problem. Especially since the music right now is
yeah. ahead.
Say that one more time. You cut out.
I said, you go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I was just saying, being that, I'm from the East Coast and I rap like I'm from the East Coast, I have that traditional East Coast style about me because the music is not it's not diverse. Like you had so many different things like in the hip hop in the 90s, right? If you wanted to listen to gangster rap, you could. You could listen to whatever you wanted to. You had different flavors, different coasts, different geographical areas that will get you your flavor that you needed. If you also wanted to listen to the conscious rap, you had conscious rap too. And you had them in abundance, not just one or two knocking at a time. You had them in abundance. If you wanted to listen to some goofy rap, you had that. They had an abundance. That's the difference between then and now is there's no diversity in music. That's actually all selling together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I say conscious hip hop, how many conscious hip hop artists are there that's actually moving units right now? We might have about a few. You got what? J. Cole, and then you got Kendrick Lamar. I don't know what else. Who would you put in that category that's up and running? But back in the 90s, you had what? Lauryn Hill, you had The Roots, you had Outkast, you had Arrested Development. You had Arrested Development. You had an abundance of hip hop artists that was dedicated to certain subjects like that, just like with gangster rap. But now everything sounds the same now, and everybody sounds like you could be from the West Coast and come out with a song, and you sound like you from Atlanta. So it's a cookie cutter thing. Now that everybody's a trap artist, everybody raps on trap beats and drill beats and everything, and it seems like everybody forgot about boom bap, or G funk, and those are the groundwork of the real hip hop. So that's like my biggest thing is when I go to certain markets that is only used to certain amount of artists that's doing the same thing, and you have another artist that's not doing the same thing. They don't like him because he's different, or they say I can't vibe to you. Like I remember recently I gave like put my song in a music review, but this wasn't the first time I heard this. It's like every once in a while I'll throw my music down south and I get big rejections from down south because it's not the type of formula that they used to. They don't want to hear bars, they don't want to hear metaphors, they don't want to hear things that you could learn from. They just want to shake their dreads. All they want to do is twerk, and if it's not talking about some form of street life or struggle that they can identify, they're not going to respect it. Meanwhile, I go to places like New York, I go to places like Cali, I go to places, other places and shit like that, and they feel me. They feel where I'm coming from because we on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength, so they understand where I'm coming from. To where other people down south, we're not on the same wavelength when it comes to that, when it comes to musically. And I wish that people would be more open minded to many different genres of hip hop and not just one thing. And it's not all their fault, but it's all their fault because it's not their fault because you have an array of artists that sound the same, and the music waves and how they're being promoted and the radio stations that push them, they all sound the same. The record labels, they have them all sound the same, so they're bombarding the airwaves with people that always sound the same. But they're not giving attention to the unsigned artist that is completely different. I don't know why, because it seems like every time there's an artist that reaches a certain um, status. Everybody jacks their style. You know what I'm saying? Everybody jacks their style. So it's like crazy. It's like East Coast, East people from the East Coast don't know nothing about trapping. We know trap houses. We know crack houses. We know hustling. Trap is no different than hustling. It just got a little swag, a little southern swag to it. When you talking about the actual trap thing, it's just a southern way of hustling. But now everybody's trapping. You know, so I don't know. It's just crazy when it goes like that. So that's my biggest thing that I learned is how to market myself in different places. Because I'm very well liked on the West Coast. I'm very well liked on the East Coast. I do Latin hip hop as well. So when I put out something for, because my music is to uplift the black and brown and red community, the black, the indigenous, and the so-called Latin community. Even though I consider Latinos indigenous Native Americans, because that's what the quote unquote Latin Americans are. You know, I got a little bit of Puerto Rican in me, and Puerto Rico is a mix with three things: Spanish, Taino Native American first, then Spanish and African because of slavery. So
Real ethics to the game, and that plays a good role of your character, don't it?
yeah, because what a lot of people who know me, they know me that I actually graduated college back in 2014 with a bachelor's in history, and I specialized in African American, Native American, and Hispanic American history. So being that I'm mixed with all three, it holds close to me. So when I put out songs like Power to My People, I really mean that shit. You know what I mean? Power to my people. When I come out with a song called 1990ish, 1990ish, that's a dedication to how a whole era, the golden era hip hop is that we forgot about. Well, some of us forgot about. So I really mean it in these records. I'm not just rapping. I really mean them on these records. So um, that's just how it plays a part of me, and anything that I can say or do to help my community out through my words, I will do. You know, I think that it's about time for uh, 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 us uplifting our community through rhymes needs to come back. The '90s was like a reincarnation of the '70s because it was conscious. If you notice, in hip hop, there was a lot of black consciousness in the '90s. I want that same type of feeling in today and the types of stuff that I'm doing. And it's not just me doing it. There's other artists out there that's doing it too. And I feel that, we going to bring it back to where in mainstream rap is going to be cool for you to uplift your community. It's cool for you to say, um, I'm not going, shoot this person, this, that, and the third, because there's messages, there's messages in songs. And what we got to do is we got to put more positivity in our songs. I know hip hop um, is an explanation, a self. It's an autobiography. But when your records is just negative, you mean to tell me that the only thing you can write is something negative? So there got to be a mixture of it.
It's a
I want to
lot like
be, I want, right, especially with the fuck's going on today with the school shootings and shit like that. Like we 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 as artists, we need to use this opportunity to speak to our people and give them what's what, because there's a lot of shit that's going on. Some of us is walking around like zombies. And I said it earlier. I said, when I go outside my house, it's like it's like I'm walking into a circus. I see clowns everywhere. I see the ringleaders. You know, I see animals. You know, a bunch of weird stuff. You know, it's just a circus to me. So, you know, as artists, we need to get back to uplifting the community within our rhymes. All of us need to. So many rappers out here
I
dying
think that
too,
would be a
though.
great plan for each and every one of the artists out. That's the sad part. They're taking it a little too far these days. Too
Well,
far
the
these
crazy
days.
thing about it is these rappers are dying. They don't got nothing to do with hip hop. It's just situations. You know, situations that a lot of artists, like a lot of artists getting killed, getting their jewelry, you know, snatched and shit like that. You got to understand when you reach a certain level, you are now public property. You know, you are now seen to the public. So a lot of these people think that they can go to their hood because they're trying to keep it real. They're trying to keep it real by still going to the same neighborhood that they grew up in, and they know the hood's fucked up. They know there's people out there that don't have their best interest. Or if you do go to that neighborhood, you have people who have your best interest at heart that's not going to let anything happen to you. But a lot of these times, people show up to these places by themselves. Or if they do have an entourage, they're not on their job of protecting you, you know? So, you know, a lot of these rappers are dying. A lot of them are not even dying for actually like hip hop shit. They be street shit or they overdosing. That's the crazy thing. If you think about it, the history of hip hop, the history of hip hop, when it first started, people don't know that this year will mark the 50th anniversary of hip hop, the culture we call hip hop. In the beginning, you had Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, writing, you know, having the song The Message. Furious Five having the message. You know, within the message, they were saying, hey, kids, don't do drugs. You see that wino over there? You don't want to end up like that, you know? Then it goes from that era to when the crack epidemic hit. And you got people, you got rappers out here, yo, I had to do what I had to do. I had to sell drugs because, you know, I dropped out of high school. I can't get a job. I got a record. I got to feed my fam. So I gotta hustle. Then you got rappers now. They're not hustlers no more. They the fiends. They the snaps. They're not hustlers no more. They're the customers. You don't got rappers that I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. They say I'm an addict. I'm an addict, homie. I'm an addict. I'm an addict. I think what it is I think if you think about it, a lot of the previous generation sees what you do. And if you notice, T, let me ask you a question. Do you think rock has died? Like rock music genre has died?
You broke up there. Say that again.
I was saying if you think about it, the genre of rock, like rock music, do you think rock music has died?
Yeah, a lot of it has. A lot of it has.
See,
And it's more alternative. Like it's turned into something
right,
different.
right. Now check this out. The rappers are now the rock stars now. The rappers are living rock star lives. You know, rappers never, you know, did pills, pop pills. Rappers never pop pills. You know, they never did, real fucked up shit. Like you might have an occasional, person who did crack and shit like that, but not no, like it's like a bunch of them now. You got rappers naming themselves after Little Xan, Little Xanny. That is what Little Xanny. You know what I'm saying? These rappers now have
Yeah.
became the addicts now, and they're living the rock star life. Now, the previous generation, in my opinion, I think that the previous generation, when they'll say who's the best rapper alive, they'll point to Lil Wayne. We all know Wayne had a problem. He looked it, you know. So when you have a whole bunch of artists now looking up to an artist and they're identifying with him, how many rappers got dreads and tattoos? Like how many? How many rappers got dreads and tattoos? They're all Little Wayne clones. All of them wearing skinny jeans and shit. All of them
Oh,
are little.
it's quite.
There's a lot. It's a lot. So you got the previous generation who's following that rock star life. So now society has it to where you don't even have to go get the drugs no more from your dealer. You can use prescription pills. You can use over the counter shit. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy how you think of like certain situations like that.
Yeah, I think drugs for the entertainment industry as a whole. I think it's just cycling through each genre just as is. I think that each genre is all that, but it hasn't really hit there until now in the rap industry, in the hip hop industry. I don't believe it came out now. It wasn't cool for the hip hop industry at first, but I believe it was always there. Drugs,
It was and drugs was always there. Drugs was always there, but when you have when you like back in the day, you heard of people doing drugs, but you never heard of rappers really dropping dead from doing drugs. You would see like motherfuckers fucked up and shit like that, like R.I.P. to X. Everybody know what he was on. Rappers doing cocaine and shit like that. Different things. We know they was doing hard stuff, but no rapper has overdosed. Like I think the only person that I could think of was ODB. There might be several others, but it's not like it's today where these kids is dying from fentanyl and shit. My stepson died from fentanyl. I want to like give the awareness out to like, yo, stay away from that shit. That shit is not fun.
Yeah, condolences on your stepson.
Oh, thank you. I would give anything to bring him back. I would give anything to bring him back. But it's crazy. But this is the type of things that is happening, and we artists, we have a responsibility to our community. So when things like this is happening, we are the mouthpiece to the neighborhood. So we have to speak and say, yo, there's too much shit going on. There's not a lot of rappers as a whole. Like, remember back in the 90s when they had the AIDS awareness and you had certain artists do certain things. Like I remember when I found out that when Janet Jackson did don't Let's Wait a While. she made a song called "Let's Wait a While," and when she came out with that song, that was a song that was dedicated to the whole AIDS awareness, movement, rather than fucking everybody. Once you get to know the person that you sleeping with, you know. So, certain things like that we need a movement. We need to come together and we need to start a movement. And the songs that I'm coming out with are straight anthems. So, Power to My People, the straight anthem. 1990-ish, straight anthem. I got some other songs that I'm coming out with that are straight anthems. They're coming soon. I got one that's releasing um Thanksgiving. It's called Indigenous Nation. It is a song that uplifts the Native American community on the most fucked up day of Native American history. So, um, that's for us. Um, I got a song coming up. I'm not going to talk about that one. That's going to be a surprise. Um, I don't know. There might be some biters out there that will try to beat me to the punch doing it, but I'm a chill. But it's going to be ill. Um, let's see. I got a song called "90s Baby," featuring Lily the Goddess. What up? I just came out with a new song that I'm featured on. Shout out to King Peter Hustler. Shout out to Zan Gotti. Zan Gotti mixed the record. Ill dude. King Peter Hustler. He's from Seattle, Washington, the West Coast. And we got a song called "Coast to Coast." You can stream that everywhere. That's everywhere. Also, the single that is on the album of King Peter Hustler is called "Thug Style." So pay attention to it. Go out and check that out. It's on all social media. Thug Style, King Peter Hustler, and I'm on 2 songs on that album, "Coast to Coast," like I mentioned, and "Latin Love" with me, King Peter Hustler, Head Trigger. Shout out to Head Trigger. I got another new song coming. I've been just doing features like crazy. So I got another feature coming out. Shout out to Lady V. We got a song called Stay Drip. Super dope. Super dope. So you going, look out for that. I got a couple other joints coming out. It's gonna be crazy. Like I'm just rolling with it.
Well, RapStarr on Instagram. RapStarr on Instagram, right?
Yeah, it's Rap to the Star. So it's Rap to the Star. What'd you say?
To the star. Okay.
Yeah, it's Rap to the Star. So it's ITSRAP, the number 2 THESTARR. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to spell it out for people. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. That's what's up. Like I got like,
you'll see.
I see it now.
It's Rap to the Star.
It's Rap to the Star.
Remember offhand. Okay, well, I'm glad you got the honor tonight.
Oh yeah, it was fun being on here.
Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Invite me back anytime. Much. Thank you for having me.
I'll check you about a month from now.
What'd you say?
I said I'll probably check in with you about a month from now.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope. By then I'll have probably a new record. By then I'll probably have a new record. I was gonna start doing my first music video to 1990-ish. But some unfortunate shit happened, so I'm taking a hiatus on that. But by the time you catch up with me back again, I'll have some other shit. I'll have some other shit to talk about.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody you need to shout out?
Let's see. Shout out to my manager, Beverly Bush, Beautiful Danger. What up? Shout out to CJ, my label mate. What up? Shout out to me. Shout out to T Lynn for having me on the show. Um, let's see. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in, rocking with the kids. Shout out to everybody listening to my music. Um, Shout out to King Peter Hustler, my homeboy Rich Taylor. Valina. Shout out to Zan Gotti. Shout out to True Live. Shout out to Brasco, Sonny Brasco. You know, shout out to the whole East Coast, man. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to Puerto Rico. What up?
Well, like I said, I appreciate you being on here tonight. Make sure if you're watching this, you share the live for me. That's a great way to support. I also want to let everyone know I do have 3 slots available for next week. I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday open for podcasters. So if you want an interview, just get in my inbox. I got you.
Get on that.
And I guess we will hit it off for tonight. I enjoyed you being on here, and like I said, see where you're at so far.
Got you. I appreciate you, T.
All right. And oh, by the way, RapStarr is going to be on the cover of Facebook. You don't know. Now you know. Get it. It's going to be hit the stands on 15th. And he's got get out.
Oh yeah, y'all already know, man. Woo! Can't wait till that drops.